I remember I sent bro FLPs. It's like old melodies, 2017 melodies, and then you got the new sauce on there, and people are like, "Oh man, this like old Future. This shit hard."
Focused, you know what I'm saying? Like lyrics first. When you're skilled at your craft, yeah, I'm gonna appreciate them regardless of what. You know, image is just image.
If I could just give out one general piece of advice for lo-fi: hoes with frequency in mind, texture matters, and groove matters.
A gym for producers, bro. Don't fucking stop practicing your melody. They may fucking suck right now. It happens. We all sucked at one point, but just keep practicing.
Do not give up. Like, no matter how nothing bad gets, bro. If you feel like this is what you want to do, bro, and you feel like this way gonna take you to the level of you just being happy, not even just happy, but just like happy financially, bro. Stick to this, bro. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different.
Check, 1, 2. What is up with y'all? You already know it's your boy 215 Beats, aka Streets, aka you already know this. Producer's new favorite podcast, Let Me Rap Wit You. As you know, y'all see we got some rearrangements tonight, so you know we're going to be doing things a little bit differently tonight. But before we even get into all that, we just going to knock the sponsors out real quick. As you already know, the podcast sponsored by LMRWY. You know, think you dripping, you ain't dripping till you shop with them. You know, make sure you get Smash 215 at LMRWY Shop. That's DMOLIR Shop. You know, I don't know why I've been saying this. I've been saying this for 3 seasons straight. Y'all should know this by now. And of course, y'all know the podcast is sponsored by Major Loops. You know, looking for placement-worthy samples, 808s, kicks, claps, hi-hats, open hats, you name it, snares, toms, percussions, Omnisphere banks, MIDI kits, construction kits. Shout out to my guy, Rory Lux, you know, MajorLoops.com. Great kits, great prices. And of course, you know, the podcast is sponsored by No Rival Shop. You know, make sure you cop up. Shout out to my guy Demond. Make sure you cop on some No Rival gear. Luxury collection, art collection, Wolves collection, you know, diamond, butterfly tees, you name it, mystery boxes and all that. But aside from all, you know, the good sponsors and all the great things we're doing tonight, we had to take it back to the set tonight. You already know your boy rep the set, 215 West Side, you already know. And I had to take it back to the set tonight. I had to take it back to the set tonight. I had to bring it back home. I've been doing all these damn episodes. I'm 3 seasons in. And, you know, we just brought it back home after the last interview. You know, shout out to Sonny. Sis, thank you for that wonderful interview. Can't wait for the new music coming out this summer. Definitely, you know, and definitely heard about that mystery song. Definitely heard about that. Don't think I ain't sleep on that. Make sure y'all definitely check out that mystery song, Sonny. But, you know, tonight we're not talking about beats. We're not talking about, you know, none of that. We taking it into another world. We taking it into the fabrics. You know, whether it's pants, shirts. Like that, right? You like that, right? We taking it into the fabrics tonight. We taking it into the fabrics. And I'm pretty sure y'all recognize this tee. Y'all seen me wear it in various episodes. You know, whether it's this one or my favorite, you know, my orange and pink one y'all seen me wear, you know, a couple episodes. But, you know, shout out to the 1% because we got owner and creator in the building of the 1%. Bar, what's up with you, bro?
What's up with you, my guy? How you, man? Thank you for the beautiful intro, man. That shit was lovely.
I've been stepping it up with the intros, man. The guests.
To be honest, that intro and that introduction, everything you just said in the beginning was lovely. So whoever he just gave a shout out to, respect that, man. That joint was just so smooth, man. So professional. But
man,
what's up,
of course.
Man?
That's how I'm trying to keep it, man. Cause like, you know, like. And everybody know I be, see me on my story, see me on my Twitter. Y'all see I be rapping Retro Gang, you know, RG4L for life.
Yes.
You know, we all, you know, we started from the gang first. We all started from the set. So definitely shout out Crew, shout out Trilla, shout out Reek, shout out Hayes, Neek, like says Vanna, Grizz, definitely Grizz. That's my
Rizzo.
That's my brother of heart. Car,
so
all, like, oh my God, like it's
absolutely
like the family, man.
That's
like,
the fam, man. That's the fam.
And it's so crazy, like, we all have stories from that, but before we even get into all of the fun games, before we get into all of that, I actually want to go back from the beginning before we all even knew each other, like, cause the way not even just this, but I've seen the Instagrams, I've seen the stories, I've seen people cop. I'm looking in the neighborhood. I'm seeing like there is a vision behind it. So, like, where did your love for fashion even come from?
All right, so my love for fashion, that's actually a great question. That's a great question. My love for fashion actually come from back. I really want to be honest, and it came from my mom, basically. You know what I'm saying? Always keeping me up on my P's and Q's. Because, you know what I'm saying, shout out to my mom, Dukes or whatever, but she raised strong, 5 black, you know what I'm saying, men. You know what I'm saying? And for her to do what she did and always keep us fresh, always keep us with the latest shit was just a blessing, you know what I'm saying? So from there, always just keep it, you know what I'm saying? And also I'm from North too, so, you know, at that time niggas was saying North filthy and all of that. In my area, in my section, we was, you know what I'm saying, we wasn't that, you know what I'm saying? So we always kept on our P's and Q's and we always stayed tight with our shit, but we never really took it into something that it can be something what it's now. You know what I'm saying? Just like everywhere else, no real nigga, real street nigga, or whatever the case you want to claim yourself that was in the streets at that time, never thought that fashion would be the key out or would be a way out. You know what I'm saying? The sports, you know what I'm saying? Music was the way.
Of course.
So when I started growing and going to high school and shit, I went to high school outside of Philly. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my passion really came in at, because I just had to stand out. So every day I would just come to school, swag and shit like that, and it would actually be recognized. So when it was being recognized or whatever the case may be, my last year, one of my teachers sat me down, because I was like, I was a little, you know, clown, you know what I'm saying, class clown and shit. So one of my teachers sat me down and put me on blast and was like, yo, Jabbar, what you going to school for? Or what you going to college for? And that was a deep joint, and I was like, I don't even know, right? I don't even know. For real, I know back then I knew I didn't want to work for nobody. So I said, I just want to be a boss.
For sure.
I don't know what type of boss. I don't know how I was going to become this boss or whatever. But I just wanted to be a boss. So that's why I said entrepreneur. I said I want to be self-made. I said something around in those lines. And she just kind of brought me the concept of being into fashion. She said, well, once you get into fashion, once you go to school for fashion. And I never thought about that. Like, us being from the hood, we never can think of like,
drop your sauce right
you know,
there.
We do, but we don't know that it's that many opportunities out there for fashion. So she broke them down to me. And I was like, yo, my son go to school for this, he go to college for this, and he get this, he get that for free. Also, his opportunities and the connections he got and the experience he got are amazing. When I was hearing this, and all of this was from 2 years of college, a little bit, for real, 2 years of hustling. You know what I'm saying? Self-made work and stuff like that can be done. But 2 years of college, it can be done more, you know what I'm saying, with your connections and stuff.
That networking definitely matters.
And she brought that idea to my mindset, and from there I took that and ran with it. And that's pretty much it, how I really got deep into fashion.
So everybody has their, you know, influences, and, you know, this doesn't just work in producers, artists. It don't matter what you do in the creative world. Everybody has influences. And, you know, I'm gonna say it like this: growing up with my brother, shout out My Beats, growing up with him and some of the friends who I've been around, a lot of them, their fashion was all different. So I grew up with a lot of friends that had a lot of creativity in their fashion. So I noticed even in clothing there's an influence.
Thanks.
So when it came to you, like, what were some of the people you looked up to?
Some of the people I looked up to, damn, man, that's also a good question. Some people I looked up to was I don't know why I'm stuttering on this question because I know like the exact people of who I looked up to at the moment, but one person that sparked me before anybody and anything was Ye. Yeah. Shout outs to Kanye, you know what I'm saying? Reaching America's, I don't even want to say it, but you know, touching, being a black man that's at the top of the level he's at right now. Before all of that, he was, you know, somebody that was an influence to me, you know what I'm saying, with the fashion. Also,
he had his influence.
Also with music and everything, you know what I'm saying? So Ye was definitely a big influence. Wayne was an influence because at that time, like, I was growing up and I had dreads, I had hair and all of that. So Wayne was definitely an influence, and Wayne actually influenced a lot of stuff that's going on now. So, you know what I'm saying, gotta actually get props where it's doing and actually pay attention to where stuff is. You know, like, stuff is always before something, but where I come from, those two people influenced me. And also Andre 3000.
Wow, Andre, that is definitely...
Andre, yeah, I can't forget Andre, you know what I'm saying? You got new people in there too that I want to throw in there, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Matt Miller, you know what I'm saying? Sean influenced me, Wiz influenced me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say a lot of people influenced me, but those people that I mentioned right there, off the top, is like those the ones, you know what I'm saying? Because some of us was in the same age group, and they was doing the same thing as I was doing, or some of them was already on, and I was looking up to them, getting my creative thoughts and my creative ways, you know what I'm saying, watching them. So that was my main influences.
And it's so crazy because, like, I'm not even gonna lie, because the one thing I will say about Ye is that he done came so far, like you said, to be a black man in what he's doing now, especially like in the industry. You know, it's like even with fashion, and not really to even go racial about it, but you know, it's just as hard for them as of any industry, you know, for them to even get in, and for the status for Kanye to be at where he's at now. He has definitely came a long way. And you know it's crazy because a lot of people thought he was crazy for selling Yeezys the way he was, for the prices he was, and look where we at now.
Yeah, but you see, the thing about that the thing about that is that he always had that vision. And not just to touch on his vision, but the thing about visions and believing in yourself and knowing your worth and staying true to yourself and believing what you believe in is what Ye believed. It was what Ye had. His vision was somewhat, not even somewhat, but just the same. He set out to wanting to make the next Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had Jordans. Everybody wanted Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me?
Yeah.
And quote me if I'm wrong or whatever the case may be, but I think that was his mission. And his mission was for everybody to have, you know, Yeezys and stuff, and he accomplished that. You know what I'm saying? And
to be honest, like, who? Yeah. No matter what world it's in, who wouldn't want to be the Mike Jordan of that?
Right. So, you know what I'm saying, I really that's a big influence, and he stood by his word through everybody not knowing, you know what I'm saying, through everybody not knowing what he was doing or why he was acting the way he was acting or whatever the case may be, which is nobody concerned, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that matters is the greatness. In my eyes, you know what I'm saying, is the greatness.
That's all that matters at the end of the day. That's all that matters. And, you know, speaking of greatness, you know, because everybody has a start to greatness. So when you realize that the 1%, like you said, that vision, because I can definitely see that vision was there with you even before that first fabric was even like.
Absolutely.
One thing I will say is like starting out, and I'm pretty sure there are plenty of fashion designers out there, because I met a couple of young boys recently who told me they just started doing clothes. These guys, like, they Spurgo's age, shout out to Spurgo.
Right, shout out to Spurgo.
Yeah, so like, these guys like Spurgo age, like younger, and they're just starting out, so I'm pretty sure if they seen something like this, they're definitely, I know they're trying to get as much help as anybody else. So what was it like starting out for you?
Starting out for me, man, I started out, it's never too late, so I'm not gonna say I started out too late. But starting off for me was a little rough. I'm gonna be honest, it was rough. It was rough because my vision and my whole concept behind the 1% is real detail. Every single thing from every single shirt is detail. So I had to put a lot of thought, a lot of patience, a lot of time into every single piece. You know what I'm saying? Because if we break down to what the 1% is, when we get to it, you know what I'm saying? It's a deep meaning. So my start out was a little rough. You know what I'm saying? It was a little rough. And right now, 2021, we definitely not putting it in the back burner, but we working on a lot to progress on what we started from. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely understand that, because we just went through that after season 2 of the podcast. Like, aside from trials and tribulations and everything,
absolutely.
there were things that we had going on behind the scenes of all that. Like, even if we didn't have the trials and tribulations, and I'm going to address this on the podcast right now, like, even if we didn't go through those trials and tribulations, some of those delays probably still would have happened the way they did. And I'm going to say why. There are certain things that, and I can't give no spoilers for season 4, but just know that some things that we made happen during season 2 that,
Yeah, it's all about trials and tribulations and stuff, and it's all about making mistakes to correct them. You know what I'm saying? To correct them and to become better.
Exactly.
On where you started from. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never want to be at the place where you started from. You always want to progress, and that's what life is about. So, of course, you know what I'm saying, everybody starts off walking, but some people want to run before they walk, and then they trip and they fall and they scrape their knee and shit like that. So that's a little bit how my road was on the start. You know what I'm saying? But it was a great lesson learned, and it got me to where I'm at now.
Shit, that's the best way to say it. Like, and that's honestly where we could say the podcast is at now. Like, we had to take that, and we wouldn't be here doing these interviews if it wasn't for those things.
Thanks.
We wouldn't be sitting here right now, and the one thing, like you said, putting your time into every piece, because I can definitely see the reaction off of the people, the love, the support when they get the product. The one thing I always talk about on the podcast, and the one thing I always tell operations, is that the fans matter more than anything, and that's why when I choose the people who I choose for a podcast, when I let them discuss everything how they want to discuss it, I feel like they bring something to the podcast that I don't, which is stories, visions, concepts, and like ways of like people can open other people's minds, not just me. Yes. But and I always make sure that I show the fans that I'm not the only person that can open your mind. I'm not. And that's kind of what I did the podcast for, to kind of show these other people that vision, like, as much as I can show you, I know others who can too. And what's the importance of the people when it comes to the clothing line and serving your clientele?
So that's another good question. Goddamn, you just coming up with good questions all night. But the importance of your fans and your fan base and stuff like that is what keeps you alive. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not at the height or the peak that you at, the little bit of fan base that you got keeps you motivated, keeps you thriving, keeps you going. Yes. Even though your work, just like a lot of artists, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say, I don't want to quote that, whatever the case may be, but a lot of artists, from music to fashion to just art in general, make their art work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say make stuff, whatever, music, whatever. They make their art work. They make their project specifically for themselves.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And what they like. And whoever gravitates to that. You know what I'm saying? Likes it. So when they find that fan base, you gotta please that a little bit, but don't never take away from your originality, because that's what got them there in the first place. So that's very important. You know what I'm saying? I look at that as very important, because that's what keeps you obviously alive, and that's what keeps you, you know what I'm saying, heard at the end of the day. So
there was a big factor you just pointed out. Keeping your originality, that's a lot of factors that a lot of guests have, they've said it in the final gems, they've said it during the interviews, and, the one thing that, that I will say is being original. How do I say it this time? Because I was actually telling somebody earlier I always tell somebody when they try to ask me for advice, I always tell them, you know why I don't give you advice? Because I come to you because of who you are, not because of what I want you to be.
Thanks.
If I go to a person, or I respect, or I support, or show love to a person, this and the third, it's because of who they are, not because of how I pictured them or expected them to be.
Right.
That wasn't that's never my idea of anybody or anything. So if I show love and show support to somebody, it's because of who you are, not because of how I want to look at you, how this person wants to look at you, or how the world wants to look at you. I don't care about none of that. If it's who you are, then that's who you are.
That's what it should always be. You know what I'm saying? That's what it should always be. People gravitate to you because of the fame, shit like that. Right? I be hearing a lot of negative stuff. I'm not gonna get into it. I be seeing a lot of negative stuff out there, but that's something that you gotta stay. You gotta stay self-centered with that. You know what I'm saying? And just keep it original.
Exactly.
Keep it original.
As my old head always tell me, don't believe that. Don't believe the hype. Like that shit. That's just all other shit. What was that?
Flavor Public Enemy. Don't believe the hype.
Exactly. And the one thing that I see is that not even just with the clothing, but with the vision, is like you definitely not the other 99, and I see why I definitely can see, not even just with the deeper meaning, but I can definitely understand just from an outside in perspective. It's like, dang, I see why you're the 1%. Like that's different, but as you said, this goes deeper than what we all believe. So, what became of the deeper meaning behind the 1%?
So, my take and my perspective, not even my perspective, but my whole concept behind 1% is and was me and my cousin was just trying to figure out a name. You know what I'm saying? Because I had ideas and I had clothes for days to throw out in the world, but it didn't have no name and it didn't have no meaning to it. So when I was creating and how I was saying like how for example how the shirt that you had on was hand painted, you know what I'm saying, from front to back. And
let me gotta hop over y'all. Not only gotta do that. Gotta show them the back real quick, just so they know, definitely.
Right, so the front and back was hand painted, and I just know when I went to go do the other one and the other 30 like that, it wasn't gonna be the same. And I know that people didn't want the same color. Be honest, if I was shopping at my store, I didn't want the same color as anybody else. I always wanted to stand out, and I always wanted to be different. And then also I was into reselling and just in the fashion game. So I was working retail and I would get discounts and shit, so I would sell. But overall, that I would see the demand in things that people didn't. I see the demand in things that others people didn't have. You feel me?
Yeah.
So if you the only person that had this shirt, but it was hot, and people see you with it, everybody else will want it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody would grab it and say, oh my God, where is that? So then when I dropped my other collection, those people that wanted it would come for it.
Exactly.
It would be a whole different thing, a whole different concept, but each piece would be different. So that's where the one-off-one thing came about. And actually that came about to go deeper, and it came about just me tie-dyeing shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I would tie-dye each thing singly, and every time I would tie-dye something, each thing would be different. But I didn't want it to be different. I just wanted to tie-dye shit. I just put it in a certain pattern. I'm not gonna say the pattern, you know what I'm saying, because people watch it. I just put it in a certain pattern.
I'm gonna say they got their notebooks out right now.
I'm not gonna say my whole process. I'm not gonna get drop gems and shit. But I did my thing, put it in a certain pattern, and even though I put it in a certain pattern and did them all the same, even if I dip them, swirl them, whatever, in case of the day, because everybody got their own technique on tie-dye, and everybody tie-dye. But they all came out different, no matter what. No matter, even if I was consistent, even if I had them all lined up or whatever, they all came out different.
Now that's a one-on-one right there.
Exactly. So that's where I got the concept at. And my cousin, actually, shout out to my cousin. Cousin actually hit me with that. You know what I'm saying? Was like, yo, we should just call it one-on-one. And I was like, that's just too much. One-on-one. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't sound like something that somebody already got, even if somebody don't got it. You know what I'm saying? One-on-one.
Yeah, I definitely understand.
And also, the reason why I didn't choose one-on-one is because my real deep concept behind it, I didn't want to be just a streetwear brand. I didn't want to be a fast fashion brand. I didn't want to be a small boutique brand. I didn't want to be none of that. I actually want to be the ranks of Louis Vuitton and Gucci. I want to be in luxury brand. You know what I'm saying? So my quality and everything else was going to match up for it to be one of one.
That's crazy.
You feel me? So that's the deeper part about that, and that's where, you know, my cousin was like, yo, what's you call it one of one? I was like, no, we got to shorten it, whatever the case may be. And then we shortened it, and it came up with 1%. You know what I'm saying? But then me being me, I'm just thinking and shit, and I'm thinking like, oh damn, well what about the 1%, the actual 1%?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People
exactly.
know it's a biker group. You know what I'm saying? That's 1%. And then
that's
the 1%, that everybody
vital.
know about. You know what I'm saying? Everybody I sit down with, everybody that was in my circle, which I respect. I want to shout out everybody, but I can't. So I just, you know what I'm saying, respect everybody that said this. They said, fuck all of that, and you gonna do your thing, and you gonna be your. So, you know what I'm saying, I hope everybody do this, go out and do this no matter what. Go out and get your LLC. If you think about business or whatever business you think about, go out and get that LLC, get that name. My name is actually clear, and bam, the 1% came about, and we here.
Yeah, definitely getting that LLC is important. I actually just talked to, you know, Wavy Bands in the beginning of season 3 about, you know, he had just gotten his LLC. And like he said, like, you know, make sure you take the time, make sure you do it right, and make sure you have the right information, make sure, you know, everything is locked in the way it should be. So, you know, like I said, like, you know, we'll definitely be having more gems on that, but the one thing I will say is, like, having that LLC, that vision, and the one thing I'm gonna say before we even get into other, you know, topics, definitely shout out to crew. Definitely shout out to your people, because they gave you the runway to just go with it. That takes a lot for a whole crew to support.
Thanks.
That takes a lot. And I definitely know what that's like, so I definitely say shout out. Like, that's why I be saying, like, shit like that. I be telling these people, you are nothing without your crew, your collective, your whatever you want to call it. Everybody got different names for their stuff, you know, whatever. But whatever you want to call it.
You want to call it. You know
your people, that's important.
That's your second muscle.
Like, that's important. That too, that's also a hustle. But, you know, I remember Ty bumping, you know, definitely shout out to Ty bumping, you know, praising him. He just got that cowboy placement, you know, Where Were You? The one thing he was talking about on the season 2 finale was, like, having people from the outside in is actually important. So, like, trust me, bro. Like, I wish I could bring, like, a little clip back up and all that, but, like, having people from the outside in, he said that was one thing that definitely helped him, you know, like, because you never know what people are into. You never know what somebody else might know. I can definitely say having people from the outside in is definitely a way that I've gotten a lot of the stuff that I've gotten. So knowing people from the outside in counts.
Absolutely.
Like, that was probably one of the craziest gems he told me, like, because when I thought about it, and I thought about everything that we've been pulling behind the scenes for the podcast, I said, damn, having people from the outside in is kind of what got this. That's crazy.
Shit, peep this, right? Having people from the outside coming in is what got me and you here, right?
Always. Honestly, that's actually how the whole gang got together, because Grizz didn't know anybody but me until, I don't know, I just knew. I said, nah, I gotta bring him around crew. I can't be selfish. I can't be selfish with this kid, because I feel like I'm not selfish with gems. I'm not selfish with knowledge. I'm not selfish with none of that shit. So I feel like,
Thanks.
like, I feel like a gift can always be shared, and I don't know. I just say like everybody from gang was just a gift by God, like from the outside in, no matter how people, see it, no matter how everybody look at it. But the one thing I can definitely say from the people who I've seen rock 1%, not even just from friends, like even if just from like people, showing love from the IG, people, right off the streets or whatever. One thing I can definitely say about the 1% is that when time comes, like, I may not know how those pieces look right now, because I can't predict the future. I'm not a gypsy.
Yeah.
I can definitely say, like, and, like you said, you want to be up there in the luxury. Like, I can definitely see that and more, not even just in the luxury world, but all worlds, because I feel like the 1% can relate to people of all worlds and all levels, because there's a 1% in everything.
Exactly. And that's the deeper meaning to it too. It's like it's a 1%. It's a 1% everything. So even though if you don't feel like you are that 1% or you can be that 1%, you can make a 1% of something that you are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like so.
Because I definitely
instance,
feel
like
1%.
everybody does podcasts and shit like that, but you and your own, for instance, and get 1% out the way, you in your own lane at this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you in your own lane. So, you being in your own lane, you doing your own thing. Everybody else can do it, but you are doing great at it. You getting your money at it. You getting your views at it. You getting your people at it. Whatever. Get some beats, make your shit. But what? That's that 1%. You know what I'm saying? That's that 1% that you need, and that's that 1% that everybody has within themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's a one-off one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like when niggas be rapping about like, yo, you're my son, and you know what I'm saying? You duplicate me, and you know what I'm saying? Like, all of that shit. Like they referencing themselves as a one-off one.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it is, and that's how I look at it. So.
Speaking of 101, before I ask the last question,
1%.
Yeah, speaking of 101, before I ask the last question, because I'm a person that like really appreciates 90s fashion, what do you think about Supreme's like strategy of being 101? Like before, because I know now Supreme, they signed a deal with North Face, which I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not even gonna get into it like that. I'm kind of somewhat.
Yeah, I ain't read too much about it.
But I'm going to read more about it. I read some of it, but like at the end of the day, I'm kind of somewhat disappointed because for years, and this is even before I was even in diapers, like Supreme.
From what I read, it was a great business deal, but go ahead.
Maybe it was a great business deal, and I'll say it like this: maybe, and. As I said, I'll mark this on the podcast. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll still have 101s how they did before. But, like, the fact that they were their own for all these years and they had all these 101 pieces, like, they basically are pioneers of the reselling game, especially when it came to flipping, clothing. They got documentaries on reselling data and almost damn near broke the laws of physics. And then just doing it with 101 clothes that y'all have had since the 90s, just because y'all had a skater culture of people who really appreciated, and it didn't have to be clothing, it didn't have to be music, it didn't have to be beats. They appreciated a culture and put it in fabric. And to me, that was definitely one of the most 101 factors of a clothing line that I love. Y'all took a culture that y'all appreciated of something else, which was skateboarding, originally.
Right.
And then y'all turned it into a clothing line, and then from rappers saying it in their songs, naming their songs after it, to producers making tight beats with the name, to artists putting the Supreme little tags and all that and the little cartoons and stuff. Exact tats, crowbars, like freaking people got they, you know. That's why I said, and I feel like I see the 1% being that same way. Not like also in the luxury world, but also like I see it touching so many worlds because just like Supreme, people are gonna wanna just see more of it. Like there has to be a 1% of, you know, this, and I feel like right now this is a start, but this is a plague. This is a plague. My podcast is just a streaming plague of what's to be. The people will be the rest of the plague, and they will speak. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. Cause like, you know, I feel like Supreme is probably the one other clothing line that I appreciate as much as I appreciate this clothing line, and that's honestly, you know, besides my friends, that's probably my favorite clothing line.
Shit, next time I get a Supreme shirt, I'm gonna give it to you. When I sell it to you, I'm gonna give it to you.
Appreciate that.
I'm saying, I definitely got you, man. I just, you know what I'm saying, shout out to Supreme. I just gave away 2 shirts and shit.
And it's like I said, see, that's why I said Supreme, y'all see what y'all did, man. But I'ma definitely, you know, hope that their deal was good for the benefit of them. But the last question that I'm gonna ask, and you know, it's crazy because we usually call this the final gem because there's usually a producer or artist, but we're gonna call this last question the final fabric, the final sewing, the final thread of, you know. And it's an easy, simple question because this time we're gonna strictly do it for the fashion designers. We're gonna do this one for y'all this time. Producers, artists, I'm sorry. I know y'all was expecting the final gem. Producers, artists, I'm sorry, but we are excluded. We are excluded from the final gem tonight. I'm sorry, you guys can put me on the hanger later, I don't care. But this is for the fashion designers tonight, and you know, I'm gonna ask the same question the same way I do anybody else. If you can give these up and coming fashion designers one final bit of advice, what would you tell them? You're going to give them one bit of advice to run with the rest of their career.
Actually got like a lot of advice, to be honest, because there's so much.
So you know what?
There's so much like
we can drop a few.
All right, so this is what I'm gonna say, right? If I give one, I gotta give many more. You know what I'm saying? So
all right, I'm gonna say one, as I said, the final thread. Let's get this fabric.
So all right, so if I can give up and coming designers or designers that's like even popping, you know what I'm saying, even like that's better than me, because y'all probably didn't even hear of the 1%, whatever the case may be. But for any designers, artists, whatever, basketball player, whatever, I say stick to what you know. Stay true to yourself. Believe in yourself and believe that it's going to come true. No matter what it is, no matter who tells you that shit is ass, no matter what, just stick to yourself. Being yourself, being original, being who you are. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you want to grow and you want to change, but you're only changing for the better. Don't never change for the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If you start getting rich and get money, don't let that shit change you. You know what I'm saying? Just be you and progress and be better. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna start going in. Always keep on reading and keep your, you know what I'm saying? Keep your mind expanding. Knowledge, it's just so much, like, you know what I'm saying, that I would give to any artist or any designer fashion designer, stylist, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stay consistent, stay persistent, stay you. Just remain you at the end of the day. That's all I can say.
You know,
Just remain you.
You know,
because people sometimes, sorry to cut you off, but sometimes people get all careless. People hop in a different lane, get in a different bag, whatever. Just stay you. There's no reason.
Oh yeah.
Listen, you got to stay in the limelight. That's a must. But when you're staying in the limelight to get that attention or to get to where you want to be at, just remain you. At the end of the day, that's all. It sound easy, it sound hard, but whatever it sound like, just remain you.
It may be easier said than done, but it can be done.
Right.
That's the point. That's the point of that sentence. Is that's easier said than done, but at least done is in that sentence. Right. And I feel like the one designer who I feel like proves that great final gem is Virgo. Because, man, I can't give too much. I'm gonna say it like this for the sake.
He got the gems for days.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it like this. Unless I can get Virgo in the interview myself, I'm not gonna give too much information. But I say it like this. Me personally, I've seen. First of all, I've met Virgo. Like, you may not know me personally, but just situations, this, that, and third. I met the young boy. I'm sure his name, man. He's a great kid. Like I said, like I know you don't know me personally, Virgo. I know you don't know my face, none of that. Like, you know, we're not going to get into none of that hype shit like that. You know, we're going to keep it simple. But the one thing I will say about this kid is that from the couple of times that I've seen him, and in the situations that I was in, the people that I was with, it was strictly business. But the people that I was with, they be telling me, like, this what he doing, this what just happened. Oh yeah, he just did this with that person, that person. Through all of that, like you said, he was in the limelight, and not even just in the limelight of what he was trying to be, but he was. Not even trying to be, but he was. And see, and I'm, like I said, I'm gonna add to that gem for y'all because, like he said, when you're in the limelight of what you're trying to be, and I'm gonna add to that. When you are, because you will be. One thing I believe that, and you know, shout out to my mom, dudes. You know, I believe, like, you know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know, put it into the universe. So I believe fashion designers, you will be in that limelight of what you will be. You're in there, as he said, still be original. Still be original. That if that's probably the biggest gem you've given tonight, be original.
Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that kid.
I can't really, I don't know. I don't want to stress it a lot. I don't want to stress it too little. You know what I'm saying? It's just be original. I can't really put nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that kid always stayed original.
If I was, I don't know, if I was up and if I was looking at somebody that I needed to sign, I would just want them to be original. I wouldn't want them to act like something that they're not. You know what I'm saying? Act like something that they not would turn me off. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's the one thing of why I give people like you, why I give people like Scum, why I give people like Demolier, No Virus, like Spurgo, why I give people like y'all so much credit, because like I look up to stuff like that. Even with Spurgo, like, I'm 27 and shit, like, we're probably freaking almost a decade apart, maybe plus, but that's a kid that I looked up to.
Thanks.
Because of, like you said, he was in that limelight, but he stayed who he was.
He stayed original.
Like, that's probably one of
He stayed growing. He stayed hard.
Even after he took care of his mom, he still stayed. Like I said, bro, salute. But you know, like I said, that's going to be for another interview. You know, there's too much I can say behind that. But as I said, you know, we've come to the end of another great episode. And, make sure, y'all get at my guy on Instagram. My Life is Bar.
Yes. Spring and summer collection is going to be dropping in July. So stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? When y'all go on my page, which is the 101% label. You know what I'm saying? Just follow and stay tuned. That's all I can say. Just follow and stay tuned. We got big things coming. You know what I'm saying?
Let's just say personally that we can't put it on the cameras, but me personally, I've seen some of the I've seen some of the shit, but I've seen some of the shit. It's a lot more lit than what's on my shit right now. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Y'all don't want to miss out, because trust me, a lot of people be hitting my DMs like, bro, how you be getting the shit you be getting? How you be?
So yeah, man.
And I'm gonna tell y'all this just from the bird's eye. Y'all don't want to miss this. The bird's eye done seen. So it's like I can only give you the exclusive word. Can't give y'all nothing else. No footage. We can't give y'all no IG stories, no Snapchats, no none of that. Just take the God's word for it. Take the God's word for it. That's it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people on Twitter can back that up. Take the God's word for it. Because y'all already know it's your boy 215 God Beats, aka Streets, aka you already know this, producer's new favorite podcast, and probably soon to be, fashion designer's favorite podcast,
Facts.
Might as well put the energy in there. We're gonna keep that energy in there.
Right.
Let Me Rap Wit You podcast, the 1% in the building, my boy Bar. It's great having you, Retro Gang in the building, RG4L, shout out crew. Definitely gonna see y'all in the group chat tonight, and hopefully ain't nothing happen tonight, because I'm not even gonna lie, you guys are the fucking worst. I love y'all to death, but y'all the fucking worst. I love y'all. I swear to God, bro. We got a crazy ass family, dog. I'm not even gonna lie. We got a crazy ass family. I love them to death. I'm definitely gonna hit them up, but man, definitely great. Definitely great having you, bro, man. And you already know we out.